Hey, wonderful to see all of your faces. Ah, I wanted to play today some with, I'm going to get my angle a little better here. I'd love to play with having us really recognize this major nutrient that we have at our access all of the time, and that is how we're using our consciousness, our awareness, our attention. And this free resource, one of the things to know about it is everybody wants it. So, everybody wants your eyeballs. Your eyeballs are incredibly valuable. But then we can begin to think that we're just eyeballs. So imagine that you're just eyeballs, like a big insect, and you have just eyeballs, and everybody wants them. And what are you doing to protect these really, really valuable assets you have? And can you think of your eyeballs for a moment as all over your body? So imagine that you have eyeballs on your shoulders, and imagine you have eyeballs on your elbows, and they're looking around. And if I see some of you standing, you can imagine you have eyeballs on your hips and they're looking all around. And I'd like you to notice what happens to the actual stress that you feel around your eyes when you let your eyeballs exist all over you. Because we tend to get then two-dimensional and think that we're just eyeballs, and ignore the rest of us where our vitality and aliveness is coming from. So one of the places I've been experiencing more eyeball is between my shoulder blades. So I'd like you to imagine that you've got some eyeballs between your shoulder blades. And what can your eyeballs between your shoulder blades do to look around and also to take in? So Gay is about to launch his new book, Conscious Luck. And one of the really big concepts in Conscious Luck is your willingness to receive. So because we think we have to go out and get it, and we have to compete with others to get it, and we forget that we're the well where all of that comes from. So let your eyeballs between your shoulder blades do a little boogie. This, for most people, is the most unconscious place in the body, because it's also the place where we say no. This is where the no comes from. And one of the aspects of what's going on right now with the pandemic is that we forget that each of us can take major responsibility for our own resources, and that increasing our immune system's health has a lot to do with what we can say no to. So I'd like you to let your eyeballs between your shoulder blades, and you can also put them anywhere down your back, to let them have a little no boogie. Like, how can you say no through your back? And as you do that, I'd like you to again then notice, we're doing a little internal loop of awareness here. What happens to the openness around your eyes, whether you're stressing to grab? So take a moment and let yourself sort of look around you and try to grab. Let your eyeballs go out and grab. And notice what that does to you when you're grabbing. Like, for me, I have a tendency in my home, I notice what's wrong or what needs to be fixed. I can't get from one end of the house or to the other without going, oh. And so notice what your grabbing does, and let yourself feel that, and feel where in your body that stresses you. I can feel it across here. And then I'd like you to do a little oozy love scoop. So I'd like you to scoop with oozing. So scoop up some love, scoop some love around you with oozing, and then deliver it to wherever you feel that stress in your body. I love the oozy scoops. There's some great oozy scooping going on. So always feel free to osmose from somebody. So oozing and then scooping to where you feel that. And then letting yourself look out around you and notice something that, notice an opening, notice something that's budding, notice something that looks beautiful to you, and let yourself be willing to receive that for you. So you can let yourself scoop out into the world and then bring that into you. One of the things I like to remind myself of constantly is, what pace am I moving at? So as I'm looking out for something, like there's this gorgeous blue between the trees, and so I'm going to reach out for that, and I'm going to bring it in anywhere. I'm going to bring it into my diaphragm. And remember that we're in this great pause is an opportunity for each of us to interrupt the go, 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 speed, speed, adrenaline, do, do. So this is a great practice for playing with different speeds of how you're doing your loop of awareness. And I want to add in, I have another little prop today for you. I have how most of us do our attention, like the way that back when fans were a thing, they were actually an extremely well-developed form of communication. The way that you would open the fan, how you would twirl it, the speed at which you would twirl it. But I would like you to play with first the way that people generally do their attention, which is out and then in with a kind of pointy. So point your attention out and get something, and then point your attention in and pick on something, and then point out and point in, and do that at the speed at which you remember doing, like in the go, go, do, do, blah, and just notice, only do it for just a little bit, and then pause and let yourself scan your body and notice where and how that most stresses you. And then give yourself a couple of loops, a couple of touches to the place where it most stresses you, because that can also be your signal, like, oh, I'm getting out of my own essence pace. I'm getting into speedy time where I'm looking out there for nutrients. And if I let myself, so imagine that your attention is very much like a fan, and that you can spread it out. So I'd like you to fan your attention out and let it fan your body, so that you're letting the attention circulate around and around you, and that you can also ripple your attention. We think of attention as being very linear. So what if it could be swirly? And what if you could alternate between having your attention be very specific, like you want to really pay attention to that. And it could also be very, it could be combined with that of wonder and what's going on and what do I want to give attention to. And then if you combine that with finding the pace this morning that feels the most nurturing to you, I want to invite you to circulate your attention with love scoops, but love scoops that are combined with some of the other. So we've already done oozy scoops. So I'd like to now have you circulate your attention. I'd like you to do a sumo out with your attention. What would it be like to let your attention kind of go boom and let that ripple? And then to sumo your attention so that it fills you up like a cauldron. It pours into you, and you can feel it all the way through you and down through your feet. And then letting your attention go out, and remember you can add in the circulation of your attention, but you sumo that a solid here I am presence out there. And then a sumo attention, a scoop with sumo, and notice where in you would most like your deepest presence. Letting yourself, let your body tell you, like right now I'm feeling it in my sacrum, in my back. So I'm letting my scooping from the infinite well of love that surrounds us, I'm going to scoop up some and I'm going to deliver it to my sacrum. And let yourself add in the sound that's most nurturing for you. So let's try on some wiggle scoops now, letting yourself wiggle. And wiggle your attention out there. So it's kind of a squiggly cartoon of energy that goes out and wiggles, like wiggling. You're doing a little hummingbird move out into the world, which is basically a super fast wiggle. And then let yourself do a scooping, a wiggling scooping. And I'm feeling like tapping in here. It's my little wiggle tapping where my body would like a little bit more wiggling. And you can also try on making a sound so that you can feel the wiggling come up all the way through. Yeah, and wiggling through your jaw and wiggling through your throat. So a wiggle scoop and a wiggle scoop out. I just had a little bliss wave. I don't know if when you do enough of love scoops, there can be this like, whoa, a little semi-swoon. So if that happens for you, go for it. And then let yourself really feel your feet. If you can, just go ahead and I'm doing a kind of boom, boom, boom with my feet. And then consider that the pool of love is right in front of you. And notice that it is as deep as you like, and it is as wide as you like. And I'd like you to do a love scoop with either a wiggle or an ooze or a sumo, and gather up, gather up, gather up, gather up. And let it come through you and out into the world so that you're a source of love and connection for you and a source of love and connection for those around you and for our incredible planet, which is getting a chance to breathe right now. So let yourself breathe. I once kayaked with the whales in Alaska, and the only thing I could hear were eagles and the whales breathing. And it became very clear to me that whale breathing helps regulate the planet. And we're now also finding out that whales do, in fact, help regulate the planet. So imagine your breath and your love being a source of connection for all of us on the planet. And your practice of giving love to you and giving love to others is something that we can take charge of. So let's unmute for a moment and have everybody make a sound that you would most like to put out into the universe today. With us, I look forward so much every week. Lots of love to you all until we meet again next